Greetings, fellow gaming fans. Welcome to Game Time. I'm Kyle, your humble host for this episode. Today, one of my favorite things to do since I started this channel a while back is to take a look at some great retro consoles and newer consoles as well. And on today's show, we're going to be highlighting the Mattel Intellivision. This is great stuff along the lines of Atari 2600, ColecoVision, Odyssey 2 in that era. So I haven't got a chance to get around to too much Intellivision stuff yet, but we will on this episode. I'm going to divide it into two parts just to keep them pretty brief. On this first part, we'll be taking a look at the console itself, kind of tour around the system, learning a few facts and everything. And then on my next video, I'll provide a link in the description below. We're going to be playing 3 or 4 games to kind of show what they look like on the Intellivision. So that way it kind of helps break things up, and both videos can be pretty short. So yeah, we'll be taking a look at the Intellivision next. And you know what? I like you guys. You're good people. And so right here on Game Time, I have a special extra surprise. We'll also take a little peek at the Intellivision Model 2. Not quite as common as the original one yet you have right here, but we'll show off the Intellivision Model 2 next as well. So I think we'll have a fun episode, everybody. And I want to give a shout out. Don't forget, you gotta go over to Nintendo Hodge. He has a great channel, kind of new, somewhat newer to YouTube, but he's been putting out some videos lately, and they're great. He's a great guy. Barry Game Exchange. He puts that on, and I hear it's an awesome show. My biggest regret, I'm just not close enough to easily make it, but I hope to get there sometime. So watch this video. Then go and subscribe and watch a lot of Haji's stuff. He's great and just a super great guy. So link in the description below for his content as well. So stay tuned. We'll have some Intellivision love next on Game Time. All right, my friends. As you can see, there it is, the Intellivision. This is a Mattel Intellivision, test marketed in 1979 in California, released here in North America in 1980, and oddly enough, not until 1982 in Japan and Europe, so kind of interesting. 3 million or so units were sold of these bad boys, and 125-ish games were made for the console. Best-selling game was MLB, Major League Baseball, which sold about 1 million units for that, so that's kind of interesting. I happen to have that one. I'll show it off here in just a second. But yeah, let's take a tour around the system itself. As you can see here, nice and flat. We have controllers that are attached, so if one of your controller breaks or goes bad, there might be a way to replace it if you're pretty smart, or if you're Yoshi Knuckles or somebody like that. You can probably get a replacement controller, but it's all hardwired into the console itself. Same with the power supply, which is on back. But yeah, here's nice the console itself, nice wood finish. Reset button, on-off switch, nice and clicky here. There's going to be nothing on the left side, but on the right side, it's a little strange, but on the right side is where the games themselves go. There's where the carts will go in. We got Astro Smash right there, so they actually go in on the side. So a little unique, but fun. Nothing too much on the back except for the port where the TV video cables go, and there's the power supply, which again is built right in to it, like some old consoles of the time, but it's just a two-pronger, so we have that there, and nothing too much on the bottom other than your standard all that fun stuff on the bottom, so nothing too exciting there. So but yeah, this started development in 1978, so shortly after the Atari 2600 came out, so everyone kind of wanted a piece of that. I won't get that back in there because we'll actually be using it in our next video for some gameplay. It cost $299 US, so a little pricey when you consider late 70s, early 80s when it came out. So let's take a look at some of the fun games you can get for it. Kind of like the Atari at the time, the boxes kind of came color-coded, so you had a lot of your board games and whatnot in purple boxes. A lot of normal arcade or just the normal games came in the red boxes, like you can see there. I guess casino/card games were in green boxes. This is the only one I have of that, so I don't know. but I'm assuming so. Las Vegas Poker and Blackjack was also a built-in a packing game for the Intellivision when it came out. Oh, I got a ton of games. I'm just going to highlight a couple of them. Sports games came in blue packages like that. Space games were purple. As you can see, it's a little bit darker. It's purple cases. And then an interesting fact, of course, kind of like Atari when they license out their consoles, like Sears picked it up. Sears Atari is like the Sears, what was it? Sears Telegames, I believe, or something like that. Here, Sears did their own Intellivision called the Super Video Arcade. Radio Shack did one as well called the Tandyvision, and GET and Sylvania did an Intellivision of their own. Original 5-person crew worked for Mattel development for this thing. They were known as the Blue Sky Rangers, but once the Intellivision took off, because they actually did do pretty well in the brief time it was out, selling those 3 million, grew to 110 people working on that. The IntelliVoice was an add-on that they did not too long later, which included just 4 games. They did plan on doing a 5th, but due to the video game crash, unfortunately did not quite work out. I'm fortunate to have one of the games at least, B-12 Bomber. This is for the IntelliVoice. As you can see, that package is a little bit different. Very nice box though. I'm in great condition, so I'm really pleased to have it like that. And yeah, as you can see, the games themselves didn't look any different. They're still the same carts. I don't have the IntelliVoice, but that's what it looked like. As you can see there, and kind of interesting little manual there, kind of shows how that goes. So that goes into the cart slot, and the cart goes into the IntelliVoice. So pretty interesting there. So I'm glad to have at least one package of that. I want to show you a Sears Telegames package here. These were all sort of a maroon colored. I have, I think, 5 of these, not Subhunt, but 5 different games for the Sears Super Video Arcade, as you can see. That's what they called their Intellivision. So, and again, nothing too new there. It pretty much came in the same boxes as all the other ones. There's Subhunt. There's an instruction manual on the overlays here, which I want to get into next. Kind of like the ColecoVision, which had a similar controller at the time. I'll show off the ColecoVision controller in comparison to this in my next video where we do the gameplay. But they also had some overlays. This one's for Astro Smash, for an example. So if you're wondering, oh, what do some of these buttons do? If you don't have the overlays, it's a little bit tricky. I forgot to mention 2 buttons there on the side and on that side. Basically, they do the same thing. Just kind of depends on whether you're right or left-handed. Now, getting it in one-handed is quite tricky. Alright, I'm going to have to cheat a little bit and get in there. Otherwise, we'll be here for a few hours. But yeah, that's how that went. So now you can see, okay, the one button's going to be, oh, it's very glary, my apologies there. But the one button's going to be auto fires, the 2 buttons single shot, hyperspace is the 3 button, pause using the number 9 button. And as you can see there, all the side buttons say fire and everything. So, but yeah, a lot of games, it's hard to play some of the games without some of these overlays. I have one, for example, here in Armor Battle. I won't try to put it in, but as you can see here, shoot, forward, switch tanks would be pretty much the 8 button. Lay mine would be the number 2 button and whatnot. So you can see what those are about. In Major League Baseball, you can see what to position the field you want to throw the ball to and everything, as well as the 2 on bottom there, pitch, move players. You can see the 2 side buttons. It's very glary. My apologies for that. Bat is on top, and on bottom is bunt. So, but that goes into controller and pretty much makes controller unique for every game. Some of those games almost kind of need that overlay because you don't really know what each button does. So, let's see. They did do a Model 2, which I do have right here. We'll just take a look at this briefly as well here because nothing too exciting to say about this. On-off switch and reset right there. I'm assuming that's the power light shows when it's on. Nothing on front. On the side is where the carts go again. Nothing on the left side. And on the back, of course, power, which was not internal. They actually hooked up an adapter to it. There's where the cables go for the TV. And, of course, a channel 3-4 switch. If you're like me and do not have the power adapter for this, because it's very unique, is actually a 16.2 volt wall adapter, which is very uncommon. That's kind of rare. You don't see those much. So I've never seen one out in the wild. I'm probably gonna have to special order one if I ever want to play this one. But it was very weird, very unique. The previous owner looks like they kind of jerry-rigged extra controller up to it, which is pretty neat. It looks like they're detachable. I tried to do it, but mine don't really come out. I did read that they were detachable, so I don't know. Mine are maybe sticking there pretty good. But here's the controller for the Intellivision Model 2. A little bit lighter, just a little bit smaller. The buttons on the sides, a little more sticky, but overall, a little bit of an improvement. And of course, the overlay still kind of going there. The discs are about the same. And as you can see in comparison here, not a huge difference. I'm way off here. But just a tiny bit smaller, but at the same time, the Model 2 controllers were a little bit thicker as well, but still light. So it's kind of weird how that works. But yeah, you know, a little bit easier to get the things in that one. So interesting enough. Let's see, I don't really have any other fun facts for it. Otherwise, Mattel did do a successor in 2006 called the Hyperscan. Stay away from that one. I see that's not very good. I don't have that in my collection. Might be interesting at some point, but that's the only other console they did. Pretty much geared toward kids, though. So, yeah, that's about as far as the fun facts and everything goes. So, Model 2, there you go. You don't see that one. I'm not saying it's super rare, but it's definitely not one you see too much of. And the Model 1. So that will do it for this video. Hey, don't forget to check out Nintendo Hodges' channel. He's a great guy, makes some great videos. Again, link in the description below. And if you want to see some games being played here on the Model 1, well, you're in luck. I'll leave a link in the description for that video as well. That'll be part 2. So I think I kind of help separate them up a little bit. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Gameplay in the next video. Leave a comment on your favorite Intellivision games. I do have a few that, again, I showed off down here. And a few more up here. So, we got a few of them. But always looking for more. I do like some Intellivision. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the video. Subscribe if you like. And we'll see you in the next one.